Nation, we are back. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of the Graphic and Hammer Show. I am one of your hosts, Graphic Raider. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, pay your bar tabs, break them thumbs, like the thumb, all that good stuff that Shieldmore says. Make sure you hit that subscribe button also. And I have my co-host and my little bro in the building. Hammer, what's good, man?
Chilling. Nation, the tribal chief of Raider Nation's in the building. Do me a favor, throw those ones up, y'all. What the fuck? Killing me.
Butchered it. Oh, my God.
That's what happens when you're away.
Everybody in the comment section, throw those ones up in the building for Hammer since he couldn't get the soundboard rolling. What's going on with the soundboard, man? Wasted. You just today. It's been nasty. It's been nasty.
I gave Wasted one, and me and Wasted haven't spoken like a month. Like, Grandpa, hit me up, man.
Y'all live right down the street from each other, man.
Right? I gave him something else to use because I know when it comes to using the sound, trying to use the Stream Deck as a soundboard, the volume you can't adjust.
Yeah.
You can't raise it, and it's just it's crazy.
Real quick, man, salute to everybody here in the building. As always, yes, happy Father's Day, if that makes any sense. To everybody here, man, I didn't get a chance to do a live yesterday. I was being catered to. Salute to my beautiful wife, steak and all that good stuff. Salute to her, but salute to all the fathers in the building, all the real dads taking care of their responsibilities. Once again, we don't really celebrate Father's Day too much because every day is Father's Day for us real fathers out there, but salute to all the dads in the building. And yes, I love what my guy said as well. He said, man, happy birthday to the GOAT, Tupac Shakur. Talk that talk, Alex. Appreciate you, brother, for the reminder. And salute to Mike Downs on the $5 special. Docs, Hammer, say it once. I'll say it again. I'm most excited about this season for the system. The system. We're going to get there, Downs. We're going to talk about it. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you on the $5 special. A lot to talk about today, you guys. That is my favorite soundbite right there. Thank God that one worked. And Martin, I love that too, man. Salute to all the stepdads too. This is facts. Any father, doesn't matter, man.
Dads.
The fur dads. Salute the Titan, man, my guy. You already know, man. But once again, man, happy Father's Day to all my guys out there. Rocking a lot to talk about today, you guys. We're going to talk about Jack Jones. He had an interview with the Pivot. This kind of sucked, Hammer, because you know I have connections to that situation, right? Yep. And I've been working like around the clock behind the scenes to get Jack Jones on the show. I wanted to get the story. And once again, I mean, who wouldn't go to the Pivot? You know, he's not a Raider anymore. The Pivot is one of the biggest platforms out there in terms of podcasts for sports. But I was working around the clock to get him on the channel. It didn't work out. You know what I mean? Well, let me not say it didn't work out. We can still work it out. You know what I mean? But he kind of told his story a little bit on the Pivot. We're going to talk about that because it sounds like our former guy, Jack Jones, is trying to find his way back into the league. We all know what happened. You know, we moved on from him, released him, all the off-field stuff, all of the pulling up late to meetings and all the crazy stuff. We're going to talk about it, but I definitely want to talk about Jack Jones in that interview with the Pivot. If you guys didn't get a chance to, make sure to go check it out. Great interview. Salute to CGR as well. Appreciate the content, my dudes. Salute to CGR, my guy. I appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, and I will keep trying, Just Raiders, baby. And also, I have some exclusive Jack Jones music that nobody else has that I'm definitely going to put up at some point on the channel. So stay tuned, my brother. Salute to the little bro, L Fingers. made a bunch of stuff for Jack. Jack can rap, Hammer. I'm telling you, like this ain't a Darren Wallace situation. Like this is more of a D Lillard, Damian Lillard type situation. My guy can actually rap. So we're gonna put some of that up on the channel soon. Stay tuned. Some dopeness. And guess who else was on the record? Former Raider Woo Governor.
What?
He was actually here as well. Yeah. I got some exclusives. I'm trying to tell you, but we're going to talk about that here shortly as well. We're also going to, you know what? I want to do this. Let's start here. Our head coach, Pete Carroll, the legend, Pete Carroll, came out and said that he's had one favorite player up to this point that he's enjoyed watching the most at OTAs and minicamp. Can you guess who that is, Hammer? I mean, can you try to guess who that is?
The kid with zero experience. Lockit, that kid.
You love to see it.
When I heard it, I was like, holy shit. Like, yes. Like, I would love to see him on the offensive line. Like, I put a tweet out a couple of weeks ago about that. Former rugby player. We know how it is with the scrums.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect for that part. The fact that this kid is getting the praise that he's getting right now, y'all, I'm so happy for him.
Me too.
Lockit Tasi, there we go.
Lockit Tasi. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, he was asked about the favorite player to watch at minicamp, and he did not hesitate to name our international portal player, Lockit Tasi. This is what our head coach had to say. My favorite guy out there to watch is Lockit Tasi. Carroll admitted he knows nothing about football. When he walks in the door, and he's made a tremendous progress. He's enormous. He's the biggest guy you ever saw. Pause. I think he weighed in at weigh-ins the other day at 369. He came into camp, once again, former rugby player through the IPP. That's the International Player Pathway. He went on to say also he's learning. We got to keep an eye on him. It's an exciting process, Carroll said. I don't know how long it's going to take, but he's starting from the ground zero, and he's made a lot of progress so far. So for those who don't know, he came in as a defensive tackle. They moved him over to offensive line because we could use some depth there. They've been kind of, getting him some guard reps out there. How do you feel about this, man? And do you think, because once again, the NFL changed the rule, little bro, where he counts as a roster spot. It's no longer the international thing where you can hold. Remember David Agoa? He wasn't a roster spot. We got a chance to hold on to him and develop him a little bit behind the scenes. But what do you think happens with this situation? I mean, he's already praising the young fella. He can play on both sides of the line. This can be an interesting situation for our first-year guy in Lockit Tasi.
Let the kid continue to develop. Like, again, zero football experience, which I get. But he's getting this shot. It's really, for me right now, develop this kid. And if he has the potential, if you see him getting reps in live game action, I'll tell you right now, I'm excited for the preseason now.
Yeah.
I want to see this kid on the field in the preseason.
Yep. Facts. Hey, man, you know what? Rugby, right? Line him up at halfback. I mean, hey, let's get a look with him and JJ.
Christ.
Let's get a look with him and JJ in the backfield, Amber.
369 pounds in the backfield.
In the preseason, I want to see a JJ and Lockit Tasi backfield. That's what I want to see. Why not? Who's going to stop that, bro?
Crazy.
Who's going to stop it? But salute to our first-year guy. I'm hoping he can find a way to make this roster. Once again, we can use some depth on both sides of the line, up in the trenches, whether it's at the guard spot or if it's at defensive tackle. This is a great problem to have. Salute to our head coach, Pete Carroll, and also salute to Lockit Tasi. It sounds like he's starting to get it. And once again, you can't teach those measurables.
Nope.
That's a big, big dude. Salute to the chat. As always, wipe them feet, man. You already know what it is. Break them thumbs. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Also, I wanted to share this real quick, man, because there's one guy out there, former All-Pro, that's still available, Hammer, and CBS has us as a fit for his services at the safety spot. Okay, we've talked about him a ton, right? And we already know, I think we can agree here that we like our safety group. Palomau, Jeremy Chin, Trey, Chris Smith, Harper is going to be in the slot, but he can play in the safety position as well. We kind of I think this is more of the underrated groups that we have on this roster. But CBS put it out there that, let me present this real quick. I'll put it on screen, that And I know a lot of people in the chat have mentioned him a lot. We've talked about him ad nauseum over here, but Justin Simmons landing spots. This is Cody Benjamin, and salute to him, man. He's putting out some great Raider content out this offseason for us Raider guys to talk about. Salute to Cody Benjamin over at cbssports.com. Justin Simmons landing spots. Eagles, Raiders among top potential destinations for all-pro safety. I'm going to go down here real quick. We all know that former Denver Bronco great had a down season in Atlanta, didn't really fit in that system with him and Bates out there in the fold in Atlanta. But a guy that is 31 years old, once again, 4-time All-Pro, still has a lot to offer, at this stage of his career. They put some teams out there. The Carolina Panthers, they added Trayvon Merrick, former Raider, $51 million deal. Nasty work. But defensive coordinator, Jairo Avero, I always butcher his name, is a product of the Vic Fangio coaching tree. So that'd be an interesting fit out there. Stays in the NFC South. Carolina Panthers, I can see that. They've been building that thing from the ground up this offseason. I think they're an interesting team, Hammer, this offseason. I think they had a really good draft. I love that wide receiver core that they have out there. I like that they're building around Bryce. They're going to be a sneaky team this year. I have the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets as like two of my sneaky teams this upcoming season. Wow. But they have our Raiders here. Linked to big name cover men like Jair Alexander, Jalen Ramsey. They think that he would fit within what we're trying to do. And we're not going to go over the Philadelphia Eagles because it makes a ton of sense. I mean, I think Philadelphia is the team. And he's been actually like publicly stating that he would like to go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Sounds like he would like to fight for a Super Bowl here this late in his career at 31 years old. It's right. A fit. Makes sense. They moved on from C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Played some of his finest football, just like CBS Sports said, under Vic Fangio out there in Denver. But what do you think about potentially bringing him out there? They also put it out there that the Raiders also employ pass game coordinator Joe Woods, who served as Simmons' first defensive back in Denver. What do you think about the fit, and would you want to bring him in at this point, this late in the game?
I like our safety room right now.
Okay.
I really like our safety room, especially with the addition of Jeremy Chin. This dude is a fucking dog, and he definitely has been putting a lot of work in since we signed him. Yeah. Now, I've talked about certain down and distance situations, most specifically for Isaiah Palomau, where we could still run a too high safety, but at times I'd much rather see him get kicked into the box every once in a while and have one of our other guys fill in the backfield. I think that right now, as it stands, at least for the safety room, we're good. Corners, I'm still...
Yeah. I agree.
Like, what's the deal? Has there been any talk? Has any teams even reached out for the services of Jair Alexander?
Well, it sounds as though Pittsburgh has reached out about Jalen and Jair Alexander. It looks like they're trying to upgrade their corner room as well. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to be free for too long. I think they're going to be, at some point, some teams, some competitive teams are going to be reaching out for the services of Jalen Ramsey and Jair Alexander. But I agree with you. I don't think that we need to bring in the likes of a Justin Simmons. You bring him in, he's a starter immediately.
Right.
So that takes one of your young guys off the field. It takes reps away from Trey Taylor in year 2, our former, 7th rounder out of Air Force. What are we doing with Chris Smith at this point? Is he just a special teams guy, or is he a guy that's going to give us some reps at the safety spot? You don't want to take Jeremy Chin off the football field at all at this point, Hammer. They keep saying chess piece. They're playing him all across the board. So me personally, would it be a fit? Definitely. Would it definitely help improve that room? Yes. But once again, I think that, it's not necessarily a need at this point. You should bring in the likes of bring in another corner. I don't even care if it's Mike Hilton at this point, a guy that can just come in and be your starting slot guy off the rip. Him and Jermaine Pratt played together in Cincinnati, former teammates, makes a ton of sense. It'd be cheaper. I would take a look at that. But I agree with you. I don't think that this is necessarily a move the Raiders need to make. I think there's only go ahead, brother.
Realistically, right now, on the defensive side of the ball, like, corners is the one thing, like the one missing piece. I think we need a true number one corner. And the addition of Jermaine Pratt, I didn't even get a chance to talk about it yesterday. And what's crazy is we did a very short show, but it was definitely still a really good show.
Mhm.
And I have not got the chance to touch on the signing of Pratt since we've signed him. If you saw his numbers last year,
Yeah.
and just his consistency throughout his career, I'm like, holy fuck, we got one right now. Like,
Yeah.
our linebacking room, it looks like
It's weird. It's weird.
Incredibly weird.
Yeah.
But it looks like it can work. It can absolutely work. But like Pratt, Smith, Roberts, Devin White,
all guys that are trying to prove to the NFL that they can still play. And then you got guys like Amari Ferrari and Tommy Eichenberg and Lindenberg that are trying to prove that they can get it done at the NFL level. It's the weirdest room, I think, the weirdest group in football.
I think I'm still under the belief Eichenberg might not be on this roster.
Wow.
I think like that's especially as they've made this linebacking room a little deeper and the guys that they did bring in, I think Eichenberg is on the bubble right now. Unless he proves me wrong and really stands out in the preseason, I think he's on the bubble right now.
I don't think so. I think that Lindenberg will find himself on the practice squad. I think that Eichenberg is going to make this roster. I think that Jalen Smith is going to not make this team. You know, he missed all of football last year, took the entire season off. How old is Jalen? He's like 32, 33 years old. He's up there in age. Yeah, you know, you got Devin White on an inexpensive contract, doesn't cost you nothing. And then you have Jermaine, who's going to be on this roster. You just signed him to what, a 1 year, 4.7. It's up to 4.7.
I don't understand how for him, and this is nothing against us, but he's always available. And his numbers last year really stood out. How the fuck is this a prove it deal for him?
Well, I think it's more of a, I'm going to go out here and show my worth and earn me another contract. He wanted one in Cincinnati. They chose not to pay him. They went out and drafted two guys to replace him. And
that front office is a shit show right now.
Now they're talking back to Trey Hendrickson again. Did you see the report?
I saw that like the talks have resumed. Like, and you know what? I don't want to say the front office. This starts up top now. This is starting with ownership and what the fuck they're doing. Cincinnati is a complete shit show. Stewart walked out, still has not signed his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Hendrickson trying to get a deal. He led the league in sacks last year, but yet you paid Higgins and Chase at the same damn time.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you played yourselves.
Q, it just seems as though Jalen has been in the NFL way longer than that. 30 years old. It's kind of crazy, right? Because of the injury. I'm a Notre Dame guy, so I should know this. Salute to Q on definitely getting it right for us. But it just seems as though he's older than 30 years old. I mean, think about it. If he's 30, Jermaine Pratt is only 29. He's literally right there neck and neck with Jalen Smith. That's crazy. But salute to my guy Q. But this is interesting, man. And I think once again, Jermaine Pratt's going to be a starter for you. I think Landon Roberts is going to be your other starter.
They're talking about him like wearing a green dot.
Yeah.
The way that they are hyping him right now, it sounds like he's going to be the one wearing the green dot. But that was before Pratt was here. So yeah, let's see how that goes.
Lindenberg was wearing the green dot during mini camp. You know, he got a few reps there as well. So look, they're just trying to see how this thing is going to come together. But once again, we have a perfect blend of youth and experience. So it's going to be an interesting room because if you looked at this room, let's just say 5 years ago, we're talking about Devin White, Jermaine Pratt, you know, Jalen Smith, and then you add in, you know, the likes of Landon Roberts, who was one of the more underrated linebackers in football. You're like, damn, man, this room is really, really intriguing.
Yeah.
Once again, they're all fighting to remind the NFL who they are. Devin White is trying to show why he was a former top 10 pick. And once again, he's here with Tom Brady, Kappa, Spytech, former guys with the Bucks. He has a ton to prove. This is an interesting room. It could be one of the worst linebacking cores in football, or it could be one of the most under the radar linebacking cores in football. We shall see. But we know at this point, we need an upgrade in that room. Our second level of our defense has been really bad for a really long time.
But it was also bad. It was also bad with the play calling, realistically.
Yes, no, agree.
You're leaving the fucking middle of the field open all the goddamn time. And like I said, hearing Patrick Graham almost 2 weeks ago now, it sounds like Uncle Pete has his hands all over that defense right now. So it's like, I'm excited. Like, hopefully this nickel is not our base anymore. We will, especially again, look at this linebacking room.
Yeah.
You could see a lot more 4-3. You could see a lot more 3-4, and I'm a fucking 1,000% here for it right now.
That's why Wasted kept saying, why do you keep saying 2 linebackers? Like, why do you keep saying 2? And I'm just like, bro, I'm just going off of what we have done in previously with Patrick Graham. He's like, man, we're going to get some different looks. And I would love it. I would love it. But once again, we shall see how Carroll gets this thing rolling. Once it's still early, you guys. They're just trying to see what they have out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to give too many looks. There hasn't been a lot of guys that have been on the ground floor out there talking about what this defense looks like outside of a few plays being made, but there isn't really too much scheme talk with these guys out there covering the team. So nothing. We really have nothing to go off of.
That inside the building right now,
they
are very tight-lipped about everything. And like I said this yesterday, you're going to watch the preseason games. Some of you, I'm not saying all of y'all, but some of you are going to expect to see a lot of different things out of the playbook. No. Yeah. Shit is going to be incredibly limited. And even the first few weeks, you're still not going to see everything. No. But once you start seeing different packages, you're going to be like, holy fuck. Like,
yeah,
I didn't expect this, or holy shit, Chip Kelly really got this team like he's putting people in the places to succeed. And he said that in his presser 2 weeks ago. Like, he sees the talent he has and he wants to put them in the best situations to succeed. When the fuck was the last time we heard any of our coordinators say that shit about our players?
Yeah, this is facts. Salute to the chat, man. Once again, man, we both agree on this. It's not necessarily a need. I wouldn't be upset, though, if we brought in Justin Simmons to help this defense. But once again, I think we have a nice room out there. I want to see Trey Taylor get some reps. I want to see Palamau get unleashed this year. I want to see Jeremy Chin really go out there and be, the heartbeat of that room. So we'll see. Salute to Mike Downs. Salute to my guy, man, Jason Hunter, my brother, man. It's been too long. Salute Graf and Hammer. Hope you guys are well. Oak, Las Vegas for life. Salute to my guy, Jason Hunter, the Demon King. We've been talking behind the scenes. It looks like we may be going out to the Notre Dame and Boise State game and the Raiders and Colts game the same weekend.
Oh, nice.
And Jay, I talked to Stu, right? Because, that's my home out there when I go to Indiana. We're both going to be staying at Stu's house. Stu said, it's good, Jay. Pull up. And B's going to be out there with us, too. So it's going to be some fun. You get B and Stu together. It's nasty, disgusting.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, disgusting work. So salute to my guys. Salute to James Moore, Graf, Hammer, Chat, and Green Dot Gang. Salute to my guy, member for 46 months. If you guys want to become members on both sides, make sure you guys hit the links up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on, during the off season for sure. You know what I mean? So make sure you got, and once again, this week we are starting the members only shows. So stay tuned. Start doing some 30-minute Q&As. It's your guys' shows. Simple and plain. Pop in, just ask whatever questions you get. That is going to be the members only show. So stay tuned for that. James, my guy, appreciate you, my brother. Let me remove this. Stop screen. Also, I wanted to talk about something else, Hammer, because this whole offseason, it's been move Michael Mayer, trade Michael Mayer. Why are we keeping him around when you got Brock Bowers in the building? Oh, are the personal things over with? Can we keep him around? Where does he fit in this offense? We're not going to get him the ball. At this point, he's just a blocking tight end. I've heard all of it with Michael Mayer. I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was very, very interesting. I think it was Vinny B who said this about Michael Mayer. And I know he said that he didn't want to throw the former regime under the bus, but in a sense, he low-key did. And I love it because once again, they need to be put on notice about this. This is what he had to say about Michael Mayer. And once again, we've been hearing great things about Michael Mayer at OTAs, at mandatory minicamp, all that good stuff. Dante was on the show the other day, Hammer, and his eyes lit up when I mentioned Michael Mayer. We've seen a ton of video be released from social media, the Raiders social media and all that, with Geno. He's starting to build that camaraderie, building that rapport, that chemistry with Michael Mayer. I'm excited to see what he can do this year in this system. And I think Chip Kelly has spoken very highly of him, saying he's been excellent thus far. I'm excited to see what he looks like. But this is what he had to say. Quite honestly, not throwing anybody under the bus that was here previously, but I can't understand how those coaches didn't get more out of Michael Mayer. Vinny B said, this is a guy that was a highly, highly productive player in college. And despite week after week saying they need to get Michael Mayer more involved, it never really happened, which was mind-boggling to me. Then he also went on to say, well, at least in our viewership of these practices, it's pretty obvious that they're trying. They're not just saying they need to figure out a way. They're actually figuring out a way. He got a lot of touches during OTAs. Pete Carroll talked about the great offseason that Michael Mayer had, and I think that is showing on the football field. Chip also went on to say, this is Chip Kelly, our OC, I checked, you can play with 2 tight ends in a game at the same time. Kelly said, and sometimes you can also play with 3 tight ends, they told me. Ian Thomas, Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers. I say that to say, man, and I want your opinion on this, right? He caught a lot of flack. And mind you, rightfully so. Former second-round pick. We moved up to get him. Josh, McDaniels and Zeke made the move to bring him in. It really hasn't panned out up to this point. Last year, he missed, 7 games, I believe, because of personal reasons. But this is a highly touted guy at Notre Dame that was one of the best tight ends in college football, 1A, 1B kind of with Brock Bowers at one point. How do you feel about, Vinny B saying this and all the praise that Michael Mayer has gotten? What do you expect from him this year?
I love the praise that I've been hearing that he's gotten, especially Uncle Pete in the presser the other day. He mentioned Michael Mayer and had nothing but great things to say in a talk that they had before the start of camp and everything. I think he's going to be more involved in this offense than he was last year, most definitely. I don't understand why he was so underutilized, and I'm talking before the break.
Yes,
that's the best way. I'm going to put it that way. I will never go any further than that. The break. But with this system, and again, Chip and the way that the players are talking about this offense right now, it's pretty much a little bit of everything. I think you're looking at a 2-headed monster at the tight end position that both of these guys are going to contribute tremendously. Obviously, we know what Brock brought to the table last year and the records that he set.
Yeah.
I think Mayer is going to be a lot more involved this season, and it's going to put this whole thing to rest about him and his future with our franchise.
You think we play a ton of 12 and 13 this year?
I think we definitely could. I believe we could, especially in certain situations on the field. Absolutely.
I love it. And once again, I kept saying, you guys, why move on from the more traditional tight end? He literally fits the mold of that tight end position. Maybe people are going to say I'm tweaking out, but he's your number 1 tight end. Brock Bowers is your number 1 option. He's a guy that is going to play all over the football field. He'll be in the slot. He'll be on the boundary. Michael Mayer is your traditional tight end, and I think that he's going to play an enormous role for this offense this upcoming season, man. So I'm excited to see that, man. Salute to Vinny B for mentioning that. Once again, yeah, man, Luke Getsy. I don't know how he didn't find a way last year to get him more involved. The year prior with Josh McDaniels, got to get him more involved. This year, I'm expecting Mayer to have a major role in this offense.
You would think under McDaniels he would have been a hell of a lot more involved, considering what he's done in the past with 2 tight end sets.
Yep. Yo, CGR, you know what? I'm going to put it back up today. Stay tuned. Oak Las Vegas will be up today. I got to get rid of a few designs, some older ones. I still have the Jimmy G designs and a few others. I'll keep the OG designs up. And I also spoke to my guy, Raider Post. Salute to my guy. I'll be working on some new designs here very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. But if you guys want to go over to oaklasvegas.com, it'll be available this week. Salute to my brother CGR, and salute to him also for upgrading his membership. I believe he's tier 2 now. Salute to my guy, as always. Appreciate you, my brother. Salute, salute, salute. oaklasvegas.com, you guys. Go get some drip. Support what we do over here. It will be up. If not today, sometime this week, it will be back up. What do you think about our head coach mentioning Thunder and Lightning? We bring in a guy in Raheem Mostert, right? That's 33 years old. He's still fast as hell, Hammer. Coming off of a down year in Miami, fought through some injuries. I think, what did he have, like a broken sternum or some shit?
Something.
It was something to that effect, right? He has had some injuries in the past, some knee injuries, some ankle injuries, but it looks like he is ready to go. A guy that in 2023 had damn near an all-pro year, 20 touchdowns, 18 on the ground, 2 in the air, over 1,000 yards rushing, and he missed the last 2 games of that season. He had a year under Chip Kelly with the 49ers when Chip was the offensive coordinator. What do you think about, what Pete Carroll had to say? This is what he said. I believe.
I got it. could actually play the clip for you
Go
because
ahead.
I still
Let's
saved
do
it
it.
from yesterday. So here
Let's
we
do
go.
it. Let's do it.
They're gonna show us that, when they get their chance to compete. I love having multiple guys play. I'm not relying on one guy. Thunder, lightning back in the day. Whatever it takes to get it done. So we're gonna let the guys play for that. Play for their play time. Raheem, I love having him. He's an experienced guy that's been a great speedster for years. We've defended him for years. He's been a real nightmare for us. And I think Zamir had a really, really good camp too. He had made a statement of being the bigger of the guys. He's really fast and he's the biggest guy that we have. So Ashton looks every bit what we would hope he would look like. He caught the ball really well. He understood stuff, took everything really seriously. Gave terrific effort throughout, and we made a big deal to him. Everybody's watching you, and he embraced the thought of it. And so it's going to be it's going to be exciting to see what happens. We got Sincere back too, late in the camp period here. He had a couple of really nice games last year, and he showed really good quickness and kind of a knack for running the ball. So when we go to camp, it'll just be game on, and we'll see what happens.
But this space complete.
So there you go.
I love it. I love it. What do you think about that? Because, at this point, Raheem would be, what would he be? He'd be the lightning, right? He'd be the speed, and the thunder is going to be Ashton Genty. But there's been a ton of reports coming out of camp about Zamir White looking really good out there. It looks like he's in really good shape. I've seen several beat writers. I've talked to a few players behind the scenes as well that said Zamir has been looking really, really good out there. Do you think that he's going to be that third back now at this point? It's going to be Ashton, the number one, clear cut. Moster's the veteran guy. He's the number two. Do you think Zamir finds that number three spot, or do you think that Sincere can find a way to steal that spot? I still believe that our guy, and Dylan will be on the show here soon, will make this roster because of special teams ability. So, he can return kicks. He can come in and be that third down back. But do you think that the Thunder and Lightning is Mostert and Ashton Genty, or do you think it could potentially be Zamir White?
No, I think it's Genty and Mostert. With Zamir, we got to see him in preseason. The one thing that he has lacked and thought that maybe it was going to be different, but it went right back to his rookie year, is his lack of vision. I'm very intrigued to just see him on the field during the preseason and see what he can do again. But can he be a guy that can be rotated in on certain down and distance situations? Potentially. But it's going to be Genty and Mostert carrying the load for the most part.
Facts. Salute to Demented Raider. Can we get that? Who the fuck are you, fam? Apparel. See, you gotta leave that to Wasted. I'm not finna steal his idea, man. Wasted got to put that up on his website whenever he chooses to get his gear together. But that is one of them ones. We got to bring that back. Bro, you got to find that soundbite. That needs to be a soundbite.
If you find it, just send it to me.
I'm going to send it to you today. We got to include that on the soundboard. Salute to 2-4. I believe Mayer can be our Todd Christensen of 25. Talk that shit, 2-4. Talk. Salute to my guy, 2-4. Appreciate you. Salute to the 800 people here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. You already know. Break them thumbs. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Once again, salute to everybody joining us on this Monday morning or Monday afternoon, wherever you are. We appreciate you. Salute to my brother Hammer as well for pulling up today. We're going to be doing this once a week. Our brother will be having to go off to work here very soon. He's been, working 90 different jobs. So salute to our guy for taking the time out to do this. And once again, man, salute to Full Metal, man. Shit ain't leather, man. This is facts.
If I told you the stories from this past weekend, oh my God. Yo, for Nation, I'm going to just put this out there. Quick PSA. Mental health is no fucking joke, man. I'm telling you right now. If you are down and out, if you feel like you have nobody to talk to or you need somebody to talk to, please do not hesitate to do that. Like,
yeah, man.
This shit is wild right now with the things I've seen these last couple of days.
Real quick, man. Also, Pete Carroll has had a lot to say about this team in its entirety, in which you love to see a ton of praise, especially for some of these young guys, right? And did you get a chance to see the sound or hear the soundbite or check out some of the stuff that he had to say about DJ Glaze?
I heard what he had to say about Glaze, and I also heard what he had to say about the rookie class, like especially when it comes to the offense, most specifically Genty, Besh, and Thornton, and he's really high on all of them. Like, with everything that everyone is saying about Glaze right now and hearing him in his presser, it's his job to lose realistically. Like he's locked. And hearing him talk with Kappa at the right guard, I'm like, oh, okay, so who's our left guard now? Because you saw the tweet I put up with the lineup pretty much.
Yes.
And I had the both guard spots were blank, but hearing that the other day, it's like, okay, Kappa, right guard.
I still think it's Parham.
At right?
Mm-hmm. But no. I think they're going to swap. I think Parham's on the left side.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, Parham is definitely a lot better at left guard anyways.
Yeah.
And
he'll be better already because Colton is stronger on the left side. And JPJ in year 2 is going to be that much better at the center spot. So I think that Parham belongs on the left side. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be the starter. I'm just saying if I had to name now who I think would be there, it'd be him. It'd be him at the left spot.
I want to see JPJ play both sides of the ball. I'm just saying.
Nah, man.
I know it's not realistic, but
no, man.
I know it's not realistic, but his fucking energy, and we saw the temperament a couple of times last year. That dude looks at times like he was meant to play defense. Like he's just that type of beast.
Westwood, man, I love it. Mumford is a guy that is so versatile. He's healthy now. That's why I have him making this roster. I don't think they're going to move on from him. But I'm not against that, Sweeney. If he's the guy that goes out there and wins that spot, I'm all for it. You know, once again, man, just have the best guys out there because this is a big year, man. We got to be able to run the football. We cannot have another season where we're the worst rushing attack in football with the likes of Ashton Genty. Could you imagine you draft a running back at 6 and we cannot run the football again? That would be disgusting. Bringing in Geno Smith, who had a really good year last year in the passing game outside of those 15 picks, but he had one of the worst ground attacks and O-lines in football. We have to make sure that O-line is intact. I know Pete has been saying great things, and this is also what he had to say about DJ Glaze. I saw a lot out of DJ Glaze. I thought he had a really, really good offseason for us. He looks like he's ready to go. He's a second-year guy, and guys go from 1 year to year 2, and they have the ability to make a big jump because they're through with the rookie hazing, and he's shown that. So it looks like a good, solid group. I like that, man. This is what you want to hear out of your second-year, third-round guy out of Maryland, man. Yeah. And I have him starting. I don't think that there's any way that anyone's going to steal that job. Once again, I do believe that Mumford will probably be the backup right tackle. But once again, he may be one of those backup guards and kind of be your Swiss Army knife that can just back up a bunch of people.
That's the thing. Mumford for the last few years has been a guy that was supposed to have that right tackle position, and falling off probably isn't the correct term, but he just wasn't better than DJ Glaze.
Yeah.
He was constantly on the heels of Illuminor when Illuminor was here.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened between then and now.
What you talking about, Mumford?
Yeah.
He was better on the left side. Honestly, I would prefer him at left guard or left tackle, being a backup to Colton Miller. I thought he performed really well on the left side. He had some good games on the right side as well. But I mean, look, Mumford is too valuable, man. The versatility that he possesses. I think Brendan Carroll and Chip Kelly are going to find a way. They're going to find a role for him this upcoming season. And once again, I don't think people realize he was a 7th-round pick out of Ohio State. If he would have came out the year prior, I think he would have been more of a mid-round guy, 3rd, 4th-round guy out of Ohio State. So, but DJ Glaze is a dog, and you love to hear that from Pete Carroll. So to our guy. Hopefully he finds his home at right tackle, and he's our guy of the future there at right tackle. Salute to my guy, Brandon, the Jersey King Curtis. Let's go. Salute to my dog in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Salute to Adam Sweeney. He says, I'd rather see Mumford over Kappa or Meredith. Well, I'm hearing really good things about Kappa right now, Sweeney.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. He's a veteran. He's been there before. Yes, he's coming off of the worst season of his career, but this is a situation where we've seen this before, Hammer. Like, he's like, look, dude, I got to find a way to get that stink off me. He's here with, Brady went to go bring him in. Spytek brought him in, a guy that they won a championship with. He is the veteran with the most experience on that O-line opposite of Colton Miller. I would love to see Kappa go out there and perform well on the right side. I think that it's his job to lose. I've been hearing really good things about it. I know you have as well. I like Kappa. I like Meredith as well. I think he's another guy that provides a ton of versatility, and he'll find his way onto the 53-man roster because of being able to be the backup at guard. He could play tackle. He could play center, wherever. You could throw Jordan Meredith wherever you want. But We shall see, man. We shall see. Salute to my guy Flores on the $5 smackaroonie. Missing all that great content lately and got to miss it again today, but wanted to drop in quickly in Raider Nation graph. Raiders! Salute Hammer. Salute to my guy Flores Plunkett on the $5 smackaroonie. Salute to Isaiah as well. Kappa, Parham should be decent. Let Rodgers develop, and Meredith is great depth. There you go. Facts.
Like that.
Salute to my guy, man. Salute to the chat. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. Break them thumbs. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Also, salute to the Green Dot Gang in the building. If you guys want to become members, Green Dot Gang, hit the link. It's pinned up top. We will be starting our members-only shows this week, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. I want to talk about this Jack Jones situation. So, earlier in the offseason, you guys, we released him. Couldn't find a trade partner. There was a ton of speculation, and Jack kind of held himself accountable. Did you get a chance to see some of the videos? Well, hey, he said it was all him. He was like, look, man, I gotta own it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do my job, the way I was supposed to do my job in a nutshell. And we released him because of all of the off-field stuff. Apparently was showing up late to meetings, showing up late to practice, was throwing, hissy fits on the football field. We know last year was a tough year for Jack Jones in coverage, gave up a ton of touchdowns. Didn't he give up like 10 or 11 touchdowns? There was a few business decisions.
Something like that, but whiffed on a shit ton of tackles too. He was looking like fucking Marcus Peters all over again for us.
It looked like he just gave up last season.
Yeah.
And that's why he's on the streets right now. That's why he's a free agent. That's why he does not have a job right now. There's a ton of speculation of potentially Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings bringing him in, which would be crazy because I think if he went to Minnesota, he would be a stud on that defensive side of the football. They lost Shaquille Griffin, which we're still waiting to hear anything from Shaquille Griffin in that visit to the Raiders. It looks like he left without a deal, but who's to say what this is going to look like? Stephon Gilmore left Minnesota. He's a free agent right now. So they can use another corner out there, which is interesting. But he went on the pivot and he spoke about, what happened with this time with the Raiders. They spoke about New England, the situation with the guns, the airport, and all that other stuff. Jack is still a young-minded dude. And once again, this is not no knock to him. He's still really young. He's on his rookie deal. You can use some veterans to put their arm around him and like, yo, what do you got going on? There's a lot of distractions off field. I don't know if he's fully bought into football. He loves music. He likes doing other things. But he went on there and basically said, like, I'm trying to revitalize my career. He faced a ton of scrutiny this offseason by everybody, and that moving forward, he's going to do this thing the right way. He wants to land with a new team. He said, whether it's, on a practice squad, if it's another league, it does not matter. He wants another opportunity to get into the league and show the league what he can do. And we know, Hammer, what he can do. The year previously, we've seen the pick 6 with the Chargers, the pick 6 with the Chiefs. We know what Jack Jones can be when he's bought in and when he's, focused on football. He wants this to be kind of a self-redemption. He wants to fulfill his destiny, so to speak. He wants to make sure that his story isn't a cautionary tale. He wants to make sure that he shows everybody and all the naysayers that he can get it done at the NFL level. What do you think about Jack Jones? Once again, get a chance to go watch the pivot because he did. He held himself accountable, which I love. I'm not going to beat up anyone that goes out there and says it was my fault. It was all me. I love it because it would have been easy to say, well, we were in a tough situation. AP was my guy. They moved on from him and blah, blah, blah. Well, I have to say this. Not trying to throw my brother under the bus, but Jack was really close to one of my guys that I grew up with, a brother of mine. And AP would constantly FaceTime him to check up on him. Where you at? What you got going on? He was like the father figure, so to speak, for Jack Jones. That's a good thing, Hammer, but that can also be a bad thing because now you feel like I can get away with certain shit because this is a guy that has had his arm around me since I believe high school. Even previously before that, I believe he's been around him his entire life in Southern California. So, that was a good thing, but also a bad thing. And if your head coach has to check up on you constantly, you got to kind of worry about that. That's supposedly your number one corner, Hammer. How do you feel about this situation, and where do you think he fits moving forward? And do you think that he deserves a shot this season, or do you think that maybe he needs to take a year off and get right and get his personal stuff together? From what I was told, he relocated. Well, he still has the house in Vegas, but he relocated to Phoenix to keep his mind together, go out there and work out and get his stuff together, train and all that other stuff. For those who don't know, he's a former Arizona State guy. It looks like he went back to his collegiate playing days and went out there to train to get his mind right. But what's your thoughts on this?
He's got my respect for the simple fact that he owned up to his fuck-ups.
Yeah.
That right there, you held yourself accountable for the things that you were doing and why you're no longer here. Like, it takes a real man to do that. So
Yeah.
I definitely give some props to him for that. Taking a year off, nah, I wouldn't do it. Like, you're still young, dude. Like, I don't want to. You want to lose 1 year of football? No.
I'm not saying it's up to him. I'm just saying that maybe,
I get it.
Maybe he has to. You know what I mean? Because maybe a team. Look, if Pete Carroll cuts you, Hammer, teams are calling. They're saying, "What is this? What is this kid's situation?"
Yep.
If Pete is moving on from you, and he's a culture builder, it's not a culture killer. He's a culture builder. If Pete is moving on from you and just releasing you, you know what I mean? He couldn't find any trade partner, just let you go, and no team picks you up off the waiver wires. That's kind of telling.
I'm trying to think what teams could use his services right now.
Minnesota, maybe Atlanta. Atlanta would be an interesting team. I don't know if that's a great fit for him because of the music stuff, and I don't know if that's a good fit for him in Atlanta. You know, maybe the Cardinals. You know, he's out there in Arizona. Maybe he can go out there and revitalize his career out there. There's a few other teams that can use the corner help.
Cardinals, maybe the Jaguars. Who else?
Would you bring him back? We keep talking about this corner help, right?
Look, if I bring him back, there's going to be a lot of things in that contract, and it's like one little fuck up, and you are done.
Yeah.
So, would I consider it? Maybe, but there will be some language in that contract. If you do this, if you do that, if you that, or one slight little fuck up, you're gone.
Yeah. And the thing is, man, we're not here to beat up. From what I've been told, Jack is a good kid, good dude. You know, loves his family, loves football, but has other things, just like most of these younger guys do. They have other things that they're into, video games, music, all that other stuff. But I think right now, him owning up to, not being able to live up to the expectations with AP as his head coach, playing in Las Vegas, I got to say, man, that takes a grown man to be able to hold himself accountable like that. And I hope that he finds his way back into the league. I think that there is going to be another team that'll take a flyer on him. It's going to be inexpensive. I think Minnesota would be a great landing spot. Brian Flores, he always puts together one of the top defenses in football. He has a great scheme out there. Jack Jones will fit great out there in Minnesota. There's a ton of veterans on that defensive side of the ball. They brought in some big name guys in free agency that can make sure to keep him in check. I think Minnesota's an interesting team. Salute to JT. Hammer, what up, dog? Hey, I know you guys are talking lineman, but holy Pratt, unreal pickup. A team captain, 143 tackles, a couple picks, a couple fumbles. Salute to my guy JT. Yeah, we were just talking about that, brother. Love the pickup of Jermaine Pratt. And we were talking about that a ton in the offseason, and then it happens. So look, we got what we wanted. Now we just maybe can use some corner help once again, a Jair or a Jalen, and I think we're good to roll. Salute to Detroit God in the building as well. Salute to everybody here, as always. Salute to Arlen. Belated happy Father's Day to all fathers. Happy Monday. Raiders. Salute to my guy, Howland in the building, a member for 36 months. Appreciate you, my brother. Get a few more questions in, you guys, before we get out of here. Coming up on an hour. We're going to be live too long. Hammer has to get going to work. I got some things I got to do around the house. I can't wait for my sons to come back, bro. They've been gone for 3.5 weeks. They'll be home here very, very soon. It didn't even feel like a Father's Day to me, man. It was nasty, nasty work having all my kids gone. You know what I mean? All my 3 kids are in Sacramento right now. So it's like, damn, man. I had my wife, which was great. I had my pup, took her out and, all that good stuff. But, man, I can't wait to get my kids back in the mix. Dan, we talked about that as well. Would love to bring in my kid. What is Hilton like? Is he 31, I believe?
Let's look it up.
I think he's 31 right now. And he's coming off a good season where that defense struggled in Cincinnati. So I would love to bring back Mike Hilton.
31.
Bring in Mike Hilton. Yeah, I would love to bring in Mike Hilton. That'd be great. But once again, from what I'm hearing, and I know a lot of other people are hearing that, they like Harper in the slot. Darnay Holmes has looked pretty well out there, and they're going to intermingle those safeties. You're going to see a ton of different looks.
Good.
You'll see Chin in the slot. You'll see Polamalu in the slot. Hopefully you see Trey Taylor in the slot. They're going to have a ton of different looks with Pete Carroll in the mix on the defensive side of the ball. Alex, I got some stuff. I'm trying to tell you. Hey, Jack's actually talented, man. He's dope.
I'm looking to see if there's anything that is going on around the NFL within the hour we've been on.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, it's slow motion right now. USMC, I'm happy you brought this up. I did a short the other day on it. This has nothing to do with Jack Bech. Nothing to do. Once again, the Texans and the Browns just threw a monkey wrench into the draft process, and they fully guaranteed their 2 second-round guys. So it kind of threw a tailspin, so to speak, into the second round. So it's taking some time. Most of those second-round guys are not signed. I think those are the only 2 guys that are signed, right? It's Carson, Browns, and then Higgins with the Texans. So there's no problem, no issue with Jack Bech. He is out there. I've been hearing really good things about him. Great teammate, doing great things on the football field. And it looks like this is not going to prevent him from going to training camp or none of that other stuff. He's been a full participant in everything this offseason. So the thing is, you don't want to be the third guy to sign. You know, you got to kick back a little bit. I love what JPJ's mom said. She retweeted me the other day, and she said, like, you don't want to lose any guaranteed money. Kick back, you know, and once again, it'll get done, you know, but you don't want to be that guy to sign just to sign. If Carson got a fully guaranteed deal, Higgins got one out there with the Texans, all these other guys are salivating at the opportunity to have a fully guaranteed deal there in the second round. So he's not going to hold out. That's not who he is. You know, he's a good character, high character kid. He wants to be a Raider. I don't think that there's any way he's going to hold out come training camp. So a deal should be done very soon. But once again, there was so many conflicting reports. I seen the Raiders Wire put it out. Jack Bech has been signed. I've seen a bunch of other articles. I think Yahoo, CBS. There was a ton of articles that said that he was signed. So it was very interesting when Vinny B put out the tweets that said he wasn't. I know a few people in the chat were saying that he wasn't signed yet, and we were kind of fighting back and forth about that. But he's not signed. He's our only player right now in this draft class that has not been signed up to this point. But I expect that he'll fully be signed soon, and we'll be good to go. Hey, what do you think about this room right here? What do you think about that wide receiving core, the starters? Dante on one end, Trey Tucker on the other, Jacoby in the slot. What do you think about
Jacoby in the slot?
Because that's what I've been hearing, that a ton of looks with those guys.
I wouldn't object to it.
Bech will get his,
I wouldn't object to it.
Bech will get his reps playing a slot. He can play on a boundary. Former tight end can give you some reps there. He's a versatile weapon. But what do you think about that? Because you got 2 speedsters on the boundary with Jacoby, who that was his bread and butter, was in the slot. Like he's known as a slot guy. He can play on the boundary.
That's why I don't object to it. And I almost said it. I was like, wait, wasn't he originally a slot? Like,
yeah.
I would not object to that in any way, shape, or form.
I think that's interesting. Because they've been saying really great things about Trey Tucker. And I don't know if there's a way you're gonna be able to keep him off the football field. You know, he's going into year 3. He's proven that he can be a valuable asset for us at the receiver position. He has a guy in Geno Smith now that can throw the deep ball. I'm excited to see, but hey, man, if that means that Bech isn't going to start off the rip and Thornton and Tucker on the boundary, that kind of speed, dog, like you have to – how do you defend that with Brock at the tight end position and Genty in the backfield? Like, how do you defend that? I don't know how you defend that.
You don't.
That's crazy. So – but I would love it, man. Salute to USMC. But once again, do not worry about Jack Bech. He is not holding out. All the second rounders that are in limbo right now, opposite of Carson Schweichinger and Jaden Higgins out there with the Texans. Fully guaranteed deals. They kind of threw a monkey wrench into the game. Take Bech off the field for more speed, in my opinion. Yeah, look, there's going to be a ton of different looks. Bech is a great route runner, great blocker, short hands, does not drop the football. You're not going to be able to keep him off the field a ton. But if you can start those 2 speed guys on the boundary with Jacoby eating it up in the slot with Brock out there, I don't know how you defend that. I truly do not know you can stop that. That's going to be a great system out there with Chip Kelly in the mix. So you love it, man. Salute to the chat, man. Get a few more questions in, you guys. Once again, before we get out of here, salute to Paper Chase. He says, where do y'all rank our current roster against the entire NFL? Top 15, top 20. I'll say this. I got to see it before I can actually rank it. I mean, on paper, I think that we're very talented. I think that we upgraded this roster tremendously through free agency and the draft. I think we had one of the better drafts in football, top 3, if not top 5 drafts. But I got to see it first, Paper Chase Mace. I got to see it first. You know what I mean? But I think that this could be a top 15, top 10 roster. But I got to see it to believe it. But I think that this is the thing. We upgraded at the most prestigious places, right? The head coach, the GM, the quarterback. You added some pieces on the O-line with Kappa and Kayla Rogers and Charles Grant. You bring back Jordan Meredith. I like what we're doing out there. And I think that Jeremy Chin, and I said this, and this may be a bold prediction, is going to be an upgrade over Trayvon Merrick. And I'm not just saying that because he blocked me. I mean it. I think Jeremy Chin is going to be one of the best pickups for us this offseason, including a Landon Roberts as well. Another guy that's going to help stuff the run on that defensive side of the football. And then once again, we're healthy. Paper Chase, outside of Christian Wilkins, I mean, Max is back. Malcolm is back. This is going to be fun to watch, man. It's going to be fun to watch. Hey, Paper Chase, I don't know what I did, man. I really do not know what I did. I have no clue, but I'm blocked on everything. I try to hit him up and tell him congratulations on the big deal he got. Blocked, man.
He said, nah, fuck you.
Blocked, man. It is what it is. Let me see. Who was your surprise cut with the 53-man roster? Go ahead, Hammer. What you got?
I don't want to say the name because it's gonna. I've already said if this dude is cut, I'm gonna be mad. It's gonna break my heart because he's a product of Strong Island, and that's still not.
Oh,
I would be crushed.
I don't. But you know what though? And as much as Dylan is my guy, and I'm rooting for him. Crazy, right? Like I said, he'll be on the show soon. Just talked to him the other day, and I'm actually joining one of his foundation live stream that he has for one of his foundations in a couple of days. But this is the thing. I don't think that'd be a surprise though. Like I don't think it'd be a surprise. A 6th rounder. We're deep at the running back position. I don't think that's a surprise cut. I think more along the lines of a surprise would be, and like I said, I don't think Jalen Smith is a surprise. At this point, he's more namesake than what he can do on the football field. A surprise cut to me would be
Eichenberg.
That would be a surprise. That would be a shocker to me. That would be a surprise. I think that would be a name to keep an eye on. Who else? Raheem Mostert, I think would be a kind of a shocker. But once again, it'd be a surprise, right? Like, let's just say Zeus goes out there and kills it in training camp.
I'd lose my shit.
Let's say Sincere goes out there and kills it in training camp. And they're like, look, Mostert, you're 33. Maybe he will be a surprise. Him and Eichenberg, I think, fit that role. Definitely. Would Labby be a practice squad candidate? Yes, for sure, Loso. He's too talented, man. Once again, a great pass catcher out the backfield. He give you some reps at the running back spot, and he's a special teams guy. So I think that, if he did not make the initial roster and nobody else picked him up, he'd definitely be a prime practice squad candidate for sure. So AC says AOC is going to be a surprise cut. That would be another guy that I would think would be a surprise. But that
MVP season incoming, man.
But once again, the thing is this: if Cam Miller goes out there and kills it, I mean, how many quarterbacks are you going to carry? Carter Bradley's out there; he's on your practice squad. He'll be on your practice squad. Aiden's not going to be on your practice squad. I mean, do you move on from him if Cam goes out there and kills it? Are you carrying 3 quarterbacks?
Maybe.
We shall see. Let me see. Salute to Loso. Salute to 2-4. The surprise cut was Graf getting blocked. Man, I got cut, man. It's crazy. My guy used to follow me on everything. I took the wife.
Didn't y'all meet?
Bro, I took the wife and kids to go hang out with him and Kuntz. Out here in Dallas. Like really good dude. Was really cool. I don't know. Maybe, you know what though, man? I keep thinking that maybe it was the DC slander. I think that might have been it, man. I think maybe he was just like, I can't take this shit anymore. I could be wrong, but it might have been the DC slander. So whatever. Salute. You know, Cam is going to kill it. Josh, I would hope. You just took him in the 6th round. You know, he's on a rookie deal. I know Aiden is as well, but even though he's going to be coming up soon, I would love to see Cam Miller go out there and kill it. That'd be great. Unceremoniously. Blocked.
Unceremoniously blocked.
In the wise words of our wise brother, Wasted Talent. Salute to Ace 90. Detroit God, Cam Miller's not going to do anything graphic. He's going to be the next version of Jimmy Pornstar. Wait, what?
Yo, what the fuck?
What the fuck? What does that even mean? Hey, you know that Cam Miller is white, right? Huh? What are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing here, man? What? Oh, man. That means he's just going to make a whole bunch of money, destroy your cap salary, and be absolute. Bro, how does he destroy your? He's a 6th-round pick. He's getting paid nothing. God. See, I have this feeling, Detroit God, that you're not from Detroit, God. I have a feeling that you're like from somewhere out there where like Cam must have knocked down your chick. Cam must have knocked down Cam Miller. He was out there. Yep. Detroit God, you gotta relax, King.
Oh my God.
What are we doing here?
Haven't had a good live in a long time.
I'm trying to figure out what we're doing here. He said, my bad, bro. I was smoking a blunt. Yo, were you thinking about Cam? Like Cam? Like what what's going on over here? I don't know how to I think that's the best way of ending this show. I think that he meant we were talking about Cam.
I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Yo, salute the Detroit God and that blunt that he's smoking. That guy did some of the best shit out there. Salute to the chat. As always, love and appreciate you guys, man. Make sure you wipe them feet on the way out. Make sure you break them thumbs. Hit that subscribe button on Hammer's channel and mine as well. As always, we appreciate you guys so much for being here. What you got to say on the way out, little bro?
Yo, subscribe, y'all. We are back. Trying to get on as much as possible. I think we did 3 lives this past week. This is the 4th one I've done in like 5 days, 6 days, something like that. We're back, y'all. When there's something to talk about, I will be here for you guys. 45 minutes, hour. Hey, maybe even 20 minutes, because 23 minutes still got a really nice amount of views even afterwards. So I appreciate y'all, but yo, stay committed to excellence, y'all. That's all.
And today I found out that Cam Miller is African American. The more you know.
I fucking thought.
The more you know. Salute to the chat. As always, love and appreciate you guys. AFC West show back tomorrow night. Me, Darcy, Ben, Jake. We will be breaking down everything that's happening in the AFC West. Stay tuned for that. And you'll get a bunch of more content this week. Stay tuned. I know these next few weeks are going to be kind of slow. The Raiders, they're off. You know, before training camp, there's this weird, spot where it's going to be kind of radio silent. But we're going to be here every step of the way, as always. And salute to JT on the way out. Pete will keep 4 running backs 100%. Ashton, Raheem, Sincere, Zeus. Talk that talk, JT. Talk that talk, man. My boy Dylan going to be on the roster. Salute to JT. But other than that, you guys, as always, appreciate you guys. Love y'all. We're going to get the hell out of here. One. Yo, real quick, I just seen Hug pop up in the chat. Just want to say, it's good to see you, brother. You late motherfucker, you.